I'm in the junkyard, so let's see for this 2001, 2004, I think, or 5, but I'm mostly 2004. And by the way, this car had a genuine Volvo whippers on them, so it stopped genuine on side. Anyhow, okay, so I use only this bar knife and T25 screwdriver is better, but torque socket will do so. First, we need to undo these guys on the side. They are secured with a kind of have a let me just try to place this guy back. So it has a rotating clip here which is horizontal. Just grab the bar knife or a coin and flip it vertically. Once it's vertically, pull a little bit on this end here, but just on this end, and then notice how this guy slides out. Basically, perhaps you already know about it, but this guy slides backwards like this to disengage those clips. Careful with those clips because they can kind of break when you undo them. Gently. Other side the same. And by the way, it's good to know when you undo big plastics like this, even small plastics like that, when you place them back, oftentimes they will start to squeak, creak. So they will make noise when you replace them. It's just like that. So remember what you removed, and if you, when you go over bumps on the street, you have that squeak annoying noise, be sure it's one of those. So maybe push on them to find which one stops making noise. But just to know, every time you remove all plastics, those. Okay, then we have to undo this guy here. It's already done, but just insert on the side like this and pry up on both sides, not just one. Don't pull too much on it. It's just engage in there, but go gently. Sometimes they are stuck. On the armrest, we have this kind of cover here. You just maybe try to use the bar knife and clip it and secure it from those two front tabs and lift it. And we have two Torx here and there, 25. Mine are already removed. And then look on the front, under that clip we have two Torx again. This one is being already removed, the other one too. Be sure not to confuse with the one the Torx. There are again two more upper, but those are for the CCM. You don't need to touch them, so don't get the upper one, get the lower one. Once you do those guys, you are pretty much done. Maybe pull the lever at the highest point. Sometimes you may want to release this knot here so you can lift the lever higher. Then it just stands a little bit higher because you need to remove it from there. On this early console we have this small trim there. Notice how it's engaged because those pins also like to break, but be sure to engage them properly. There's one front, one rear, also at the top. The leather cover, it's simply just pull a little bit on it. You just see underneath. Just stretch it a little bit and slide it over. This is not attached, but just stretch it at some corner, and then slowly go over the leather. At this point, again, two screws. This one, yeah, it's better to lift it a little bit. Just use a bar knife, it's really easy and no worries too much. It's just small clips. This one, undo this T25 again and remove this piece, this surrounding piece, just that piece. You don't need to undo the lever, I think. Let me just try to remove it. At this point you should be able to move the whole console pretty easily. Now my other seat here, it's a little bit in the forward position. One more thing. At the front here you have two tabs. It's two sliding tabs, and on the console end you notice these holes here on each side. So this guy here slides over the black tab. So basically when you have undone the two screws, notice that the plastic in front just slides at this angle, the same angle towards the top of the car. So slide it carefully, don't pull horizontally, pull really diagonally on it, a little bit like this. One more little step. So you see, this is one tab, and there's another tab right here. So these two tabs, so try at the top with the bar knife, and we need to undo this connector here. Undo the connector and also detach this guy, just slide it off this tab there. And let's just try it again to lift the whole console. So it slides out without problems. Be sure sometimes maybe better to have the seat backwards. Be sure sometimes here is going to grab on this trim, so maybe bent a little bit here outside, but it just slid off the lever without any problems. And now I guess it's going to slide off the maybe there's this little tab there, so be sure not to grab stuff in there, and just it's out. And basically I guess you guys need this to undo, replace the cables for handbrake. Really honestly I don't know what's the procedure for that, but I guess you will slack, or first you will slack here the nut. It has kind of tabs here, but just put the wrench on it, ratchet on it, and just release it. And notice when this cable gets loose, remember you need to have, when you place everything back in place, you need to have 2 or 3 clicks until this guy stops. That's just the setting. So yeah, I guess you get this cable loose by this nut, and then you unhook the 2 handbrake cables, and then from there, I don't know, the video is not about the cables, it's about this console. Let's just see the 2005 and up console if it's the same thing. This is going to be 2005 and up. I have the Geartronic transmission, automatic one. Not sure about manuals one, but the location of the securing screws is different. Start first with the side trim. The guys, one there, one on the other side. These guys, again, they have a rotating tab. We reach it with a butter knife or a coin. Try to slide the seats backwards as much. Rotate it vertically like this. This is disengaged, and then just slightly pull on this area here, not on the whole trim. Slightly pull here, and just pull the whole trim backwards a little bit, 1 inch maybe. You notice how it's having some hooks, so disengage these hooks by moving it backwards. Be careful because this break, and also when you place all this plastic back in place, like I was saying, they start to make noise, the creak, crack, squeaks. So you know, if you remove a plastic, it will make noise afterwards. Just a small interesting discovery here, and I'll continue with the video. So someone pulled the wires from the ignition, and look what the owner put in this car. This is a ignition key. Basically he has lost his fob, so he had to put the transporter in the barrel here, and just get the blank key, cut it, and use a blank key without the transporter to start the car. That's a trick when you lose the keys, and winning just the last one, so you don't order 500 keys from Volvo. Anyhow, let's just move on. We have this trim around. Again, this 2005 is different from 2001 to 4. You just need to insert a butter knife on the sides to release these tabs. Careful not to scratch it. You have kind of holes to insert a butter knife there, sorry, that one, and the other side to notice this kind of places to insert a butter knife and just lift it up. It will come along with the center black piece, and we need to detach it from the exterior trim. That center black piece here, you don't need to remove the shifter knob or anything else. This piece there is secured with 4 tabs at each corner here. You notice the holes, so maybe you need to press onto those tabs here just with some force, either with a screwdriver or a bottom tab. Just press it, keep it depressed with force, and then push this guy downwards. Do so at the rear corners first, and if you need at the front corners too. So now it's freed. be sure to lock it back in place properly so it doesn't make noise. We have pretty much the same as 2001, 2004. We have these two at the front here. Again, try not to confuse with the upper two for the CCM. So there's two up, you don't touch those. The lower one, we need to remove them. Let me just look at the end of it. Then for the two others, just flip this guy open, and you have at the bottom, you have this little cover, has like something with small rubber to pinch it, to remove it from there. And we have the two other securing bolts. They are hidden really behind this guy. You will look for it for a while until you realized you just need to undo that small cover. So let's just pull those bolts from those screws from there. And once the two screws are removed, these two guys, the whole thing starts to move. There's still a little bit of thing to do. You notice these two tabs here, just like the older model, they engage on the black tabs right there. There's two of them, so be sure when you slide this guy, slide it at the angle diagonally, and when you place it back in place, be sure to engage here. Those two tabs can really approach the camera more. But look at the beginning of the video, it's the same idea as the older model. The last thing now is to undo the 12-volt socket connector. I recommend you undo this plate because you won't see the connector, but try, if you don't want to undo this plate, just lift the guy. Oh, you need to release the just check at the beginning of the video, same idea, how to pull the trim, the leather trim off there. Just stretch the trim a little bit and slide it off. Keep the lever most vertically. You need to perhaps slack a little bit that bolt to have the lever move a little bit, and when you put it back in place, it needs to have 2 or 3 clicks until it grabs these small tabs. You just pull it upwards, but they break, so they are kind of annoying. And also don't forget to engage the upper one when you put it back in place, but again, the old things may break. So for the socket here, again, they have this cover. When you undo it, it will break. It's very easy. Either you undo it, I'll show you the picture, so maybe try not to undo it, just look where is this the connector located. I just want to show you this, it's right there. So as you look there, it's right on the left side, about at the middle of this hole. This is your connector. We need to push it upwards and to disconnect it. So I'll have to lift this guy here, maybe 1 foot off the floor, and just try to keep it one hand, and then I will grab the connector from underneath. I will push it upwards. Watch your fingers because you may get hurt. If it doesn't move, just grab a small butter knife and try to pull a little bit on this black lever here. It's like a locking tab, and then try to slide that guy up. I did manage a few minutes earlier. Okay, this is it. So it's really just slides at the top, just like the older model, but it's hard to see. The clip is at the top. Is this clip you need to depress to unclip it, so it's not at the bottom, it's at the top. So yeah, at this moment, try to find myself a better position. You should be pretty much able to undo the whole thing. You don't need to remove those 4 screws here, just leave them in place. I did try, but you don't need to undo this trim, just leave it there. Again, it may just lock on the side a little bit, so just pull a little bit on the plastic, and here you go. That's the whole guy comes out. Just a little bit of movement and you are going to pull it. No need to remove the lever, transmission lever. Again, this is automatic transmission. And see at the beginning of the video when I was talking, these are the handbrake cables, but the video is only about the console. Thanks for watching, guys.